if you care.
I don't. Yeah.
And even if you do, I don't care. I don't care that you care. Like what is it? What does me hitting 1 million 16 years in a row have to?
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Okay, I'm bringing on a guest today. You've probably been on the podcast more than anybody.
Yeah.
Since we've done Secrets for Success, right?
Yeah, been a few times.
This is going to be I'm not going to say the last podcast, but it's going to be probably the last time you hear from him in at least a few months. We'll explain that on the podcast. Andrew Tran, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right. So why don't you, I know you've been talking a little bit about this on Instagram. I'm assuming there are people that are listening to the podcast that don't follow you on Instagram. Can you just tell them who you are, what you do with SSHC, and then let's talk about your big transition that's happening.
Yeah. So here's my main role now is managing our virtual assistant services, where we help a lot of people with content, stuff with tech, and with the softwares that we manage. So
Cool. And it is primarily an online business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you guys at least my version of it. Andrew, we met initially because he joined one of my programs back in 2017. It was.
Yeah. Followed you for about a year in 2016 and 2017 when I first invested in something was 2017.
So he became a client of mine in 2017. Over the years, you have certain people that they're clients and they're just clients, right? And you care. You care about all your customers, but there's some relationships that, for whatever reason, become more than that. And so there are, I've probably had over 6,000 people probably at this point have bought something from me, whether it's a book, it's a program, it's a course, it's whatever. But I would say there's about 2 handfuls of people that the relationship gets a little bit deeper. I've had people work with me in companies. Some people work with me. You never worked with me at my clinics, but Joseph and Javi, and Sherelle and whatnot. Like, this Sherelle. We've had a few people, Kristen Schultz, work at the clinics a little bit, here and there. But we've worked together in SSHC. But it became even deeper, much deeper. So it's almost like my son, little brother, I don't even know at this point. He's probably the big brother in the whole deal. But yeah, we've had a pretty amazing relationship that's turned into a partnership through the virtual services. So with that said, you're making a big life change.
I am.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about what that life change is? And I think there's something important for that we can just discuss, rap about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're just letting you guys into it. But
with so the big change, I guess backing up a little bit, for me after learning a lot of the things I did from you back since 2017, like I think you changed my mindset on a lot of different things, from just physical therapy profession to business to life and like everything in between. I think you've mentored me through a lot, like like you said earlier, like as a big brother, uncle, father, whatever it is, right? So you've been a big influence in my life. And I think at one point during my career, I was a travel physical therapist. I like to travel a lot. And just having like the flexibility to be able to like do what you want, honestly. And I think early on when I got into the entrepreneur world, I thought that I think everyone's shot was just like, the main goal was like money. Right. And I think a lot of times, like looking back at it, and I was like, well, what does the money lead to? So just money to money. It's like, all right, I want $1 million. Like for what? Like, what does that $1 million lead to? It's like, do you need $1 million? Like, do you need $10 million? Like, what do you want to buy? Like what is that you want that comes out of it, right? And I think for me is always want to have freedom to be able to do what I want, kind of just travel. I love travel. I love food. I like to experiencing a lot of different cultures and things like that. So for me, last year I was able to do my first international trip since the pandemic. And I think part of it, I don't know if it was not necessarily in a rut, but like I think something was just missing. So then I was like, I just need to do something, right? I just need to go out, and I think that's kind of sparked everything.
Right.
And I think last year when I went for 3 weeks, which was absolutely amazing, being able to work for this guy and being able to take 3 weeks off and truly not work. Like I may have sent a few messages here and there, kind of some messages to you, some messages to the team or whatnot, being able to take that off. But then I just remember sitting actually in Boracay with this tank. I just threw it on this morning. I didn't even know we were going to do this, but I wore this today. And I was sitting in the literally in the water of the beach, and I was like floating around. I was like, you know what? Like I could live here, like in the Philippines or And I was with my girlfriend, and she was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, no, like I'm for real. And so we made the decision that we were going to move to the Philippines in a year. And basically, it was like, well, we had a lease starting to come up, and we're like, a little too soon now. Like, let's just finish a whole nother year. And basically, tomorrow I'm leaving. I'm going to go to California for a couple of days and then fly out by the end of the week. And originally I thought I was going to be in the Philippines for a while. And things change, and I think that's kind of the beauty of being online, and also like just accessibility now in the world to be able to get up and just move anywhere than it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so going to move to the Philippines for a couple of months, then to Vietnam as of right now. Then I haven't really planned the rest of it, but our plans as of right now is about 8 months. Both me and my girlfriend have decided.
Okay. I think there's a lot of things I want to unpack here. And I actually just told him, so, he's leaving, as he said, tomorrow morning, 5:45. He's got his first flight on this this adventure that they're going on, at least for the next 8 months. So I think there's a few different things that you said, and I'm just trying to remember, because I'm like, oh, I got a point there. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that I would say to every single one of you that is listening right now to this is, in life, to me, the whole goal is to understand yourself, to find yourself, and to be very comfortable with knowing, yeah, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Like, this is how God made me, through the way he made me, but also through the experiences that I have. Like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, we're told that, make as much money as you possibly can. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, the goal is to hit that 6 figures and then get to 7, and then let's get to 8, and maybe you get to 9, and who knows, you could be the next billionaire or whatever. But at the end of the day, what is money? Money, to me, at least to me, as somebody that's had very little of it, somebody that's had, I guess, a lot relative. It's all relative. It's all relative, right? Yeah. But really, what can I say money gives you? What money has given me, it doesn't make me any happier. But what it does is it gives me options. And the options has the potential to make things easier, right? When you have, like if there's only one option, like you only have one shirt and you only got one pants, that's all you got, right? But if you have a little money, you might have 4 shirts and 4 pants. It's not going to make you more clothed. At the end of the day, you're going to be clothed. Right. It's just, you just have more options. And so I say that because I truly believe that today, the internet is money. I believe the way that we can earn a living is a form of currency. Yeah. Like, who's got the freer life? Because I always talk about this. From the minute you listen to me, whether it was on Periscope back in 2016 or 2015 to today, that I've always talked about having the ability to have options in your life and having freedom. And there's clinical freedom, which we help people. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. We help people with gaining clinical freedom and being able to treat the way that they want. We help people with getting time freedom, which is not only to have the freedom to do what you want when you want, right? But then also to kind of have life freedom, to do the things that you actually want to do, right? Yeah. And then sometimes, you need a little money to make that happen. So you need some financial flexibility there as well. My point in all of this, of what I'm saying, is that I think what I've seen in you over the last 2016, so 10 years that we've known each other, is you just know who you are now. Yeah. Like, you know who you are. You know what you are. You're a nomad. You're a guy that loves to experience things. You love people. You love to experience things. You like your quiet time. You like to be introspective, but at the same time, you can't just be doing, like, you just don't want to. You want to see life. You want to see
sure.
the world.
Yeah.
I think there's also things that were even said about you, like, oh, he likes the no, you will take consistency. If it's good, you just know what means a lot to you.
For sure.
So what means a lot to you is good relationships, good experiences, solid people,
Yep.
and just to be able to enjoy life. And, you know, even you've tried entrepreneurship, you did it, you had success in it, you've had struggles in it. You've tried being an employee, you did it, you've had success. I think you just know, like, this is who I am. What I want is I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing to do the things that I need to do for the common goal, just like everybody else. I can get a little restless at time if I feel like I'm not growing, but you're a growth man.
Yeah.
You want to grow, you want to see things, and you want to explore. And once I realized that about you, my job as your friend and as your mentor, as somebody that you work with, and as a leader, is just to try to give you the things that you want. And I wouldn't be as pumped about this if I didn't know, like I know who you are. I know as long as you're filled, you might even be better over there than you are here. You know, I mean, you know, like who knows? But I think one of the cool thing is that you also might go over there and you might be like, man, I don't want to do this no more. I want to have a Vietnamese coffee shop. You know what I mean? I don't know, or a Filipino coffee shop. Who knows? But you know what? It's just, to me, you know what I mean? I don't know, or a Filipino coffee shop. Who knows? But you know what? It's just, to me, I'm just so happy and grateful that we've created an environment to where you could do this and nothing changes.
Yeah. And I deeply appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think majority of people want, maybe not to travel like me and go experience and all this stuff, but being able to like do what you want. And I think you hit it on the head earlier, like being able to find yourself. And I think a lot of times as we grow and we change as human beings, we may have to refine ourselves over and over again. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't do that, you know, and I was guilty of that as well. And I think just being able to, like, okay, I think even with entrepreneurship, right, it's like entrepreneurship can be a really, you know, crazy roller coaster for all. But like, I think just committing to, whether it's the business, whether it's a city that you're living in, a significant whatever it is, and I think things can change, and I think that's okay. And I think just with my own personal experiences, like being able to find yourself and like what is good now, because like you said, I could absolutely thrive even more. I could hate it, and I think the big thing is I tell people, like, if you hate it, like, you can always go back. Like when I first left, like my hometown Cincinnati, like I was scared, and I was like, worst comes to worst, you can always go back. Even when I moved out for college, I was like, worst comes to worst, I just moved back to my parents' house. Right at that point. And then same thing here, like I could go. I think the part of it as well is like I don't even have the whole 8 months planned out yet. Like roughly have it planned out, but also we're booking on Airbnb. Like there's so much opportunity now. Like I booked it for 3 months in Vietnam, but like I don't have to pay a month at a time. With Airbnb, it's like as long as you pay like a week before, each Airbnb booking is different, but it's like as long as you pay a week before that month, but I can just cancel it if I really wanted to. And we're still in the same rules with the agreement, whatever. So like that's what they said. Some of them, Airbnbs, like you have to pay, if you want to book it, you have to pay all of it up front. So it just kind of depends, and it's like, all right, well, if I don't like that place, I can go somewhere else, or I can go to another country or whatever that may be. If I hate it, I can just come back to the States, or wherever I want to go. And I think, like for me, like finding myself is being able to, be able to have a lot of these different experiences. And, that's what money gives me. It's like, okay, like how much money? It's like, I just want enough money, like not enough money, like having money to be able to travel and not have to worry about things, and just being able to experience, like I just like experience as many things as I can in life. So
I think that's a big thing. I also think that, maybe this is the second part of the podcast. We can call this how to become rich in life. Because there's so many ways, people say, man, I just need to make more money. I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I just read something. My brother just sent me something this morning that $100,000 a year is considered lower middle class in 12 states, 12 of the 50 states. Making $100,000 a year is now considered lower middle class in 12 of 50 states.
That's crazy.
And the reason why I bring this up is because as soon as I saw this thing that he sent me, it made me think of you. It made me think that money is relative.
Yeah.
You're going now to the Philippines, and then you're going to, I know you don't have the whole trip planned, but you're going to be in Vietnam for some time as well. And if you made $100,000 in the Philippines or in Vietnam,
probably top 1%.
Top 1% there, right? So the point I'm saying is this: is a lot of times I know many of you, if you're listening, you're like, man, I don't know if I should have my own business, and honestly, I don't know if you should either. It might not make sense for you. I don't know. But what I can say is right now, these are some of the perks of having an online business. Him making this move, he just gave himself a temporary, probably 800% raise.
Yeah.
He just gave himself an 800% raise because here's the deal. The money that he makes with Smart Success Healthcare, the virtual services division, that money he gets paid in US dollars, right? Okay. Now, he here has rent. He has rent for his apartment that they live in, right? You have your all your other expenses here, but you live in America, okay? Okay. Now you're going over there. You're going over there. Now, your lifestyle, the places that you're going to be living for a month, what is going to be your expenses?
Yeah. So in Vietnam, it's basically going to be in Da Nang, which is, they call it like the Miami of Vietnam or Asia or something like that. And it's like a nice city that's on the water. And I think we're 2 blocks away from the water, and in a high rise and 2-bedroom. It has a nice pool up on the rooftop. Has a gym, and it's 600. It's furnished. It's Airbnb, so you already know the price is a little bit higher with the fees and everything like that. And it's $650 a month.
$650 a month, right? So have you guys thought? Because I've been listening to videos. I told you I've been watching some videos. All in, you guys are probably going to be at what a month? You kind of like thought how much probably going to be.
You can live like what I've seen as well in Vietnam. Like it's probably, let's say if I don't ever cook, let's go out to eat and just decent meals, probably like $5 a day.
$5 a day.
Yeah, for food.
For all your food.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So then and there's 2 of us, so you want double that.
So $10 bucks a day.
For
30 days in a month.
Yeah.
You're talking about $300 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So $650 plus $300 a month for food. Assuming y'all get transportation.
Yeah, we do transportation. I can probably get like an electric scooter. I mean, it's, I don't know, not that much. Maybe a couple $100 a month to rent that. If you want to do, they have Grab, which is their Uber. Just like a few bucks a trip. Maybe.
Yeah. What I'm hearing from online is I'm hearing about $1,500 a month.
Yeah, for the both of us.
You need about $1,500 a month to live very, very, very comfortable.
Yeah, to live comfortable, if just for the day to day. We'll probably have a little more than that, just traveling experiences and just seeing other things like that. But if you're from an average day to day, about $1,500 a month.
About $1,500 a month. So my point in it, you guys, is that the lifestyle, and it's as somebody that comes from Jamaica. The goal for every Jamaican was, can you make American money but live in Jamaica? This is back in the 80s and 90s. It's no longer like that in Jamaica. But right now in the Philippines and Vietnam, it's the same. Yeah. It's what it used to be in the 80s in Jamaica. Yeah. So I say all that because just getting on that plane and getting over there, you basically just bumped up your lifestyle dramatically.
For sure.
Without making an extra penny.
Exactly. And it's funny, like, because, my mom and dad from Vietnam and everything. And my mom, at first, was pretty resistant with me moving. Yeah. Like every time I move, like, she's usually resistant. She's mom. Yeah, she's mom. And she's protective. Like, first time I left for college, 20 minutes down the road, like, she cried and was like, you're just going to be, like, all that, right? And then when I left Ohio and everything. But, like, the goal, like you said, like, was to make money. And then the ones that did make it over here, they sent money back. And then her initial goal was to come here and make money and then go retire. She doesn't want to retire back. My parents are divorced now, but my dad wants to retire and go back there. My mom wants to stay in the U.S. now. So she's like, why would you want to do that? I was like, wasn't that your goal the whole time? Yeah. And I think after a while, kind of like settled in. And she was like, you know what? Like, if you're able to live like a really nice lifestyle and be able to travel and see the world and all that stuff. You know, she finally was in the last couple of months more supportive of it. But yeah, and I think, you know, like that's kind of like the hack, right? And I think being able to find like, or even create your own job. So most people are listening to this are entrepreneurs, inspiring entrepreneurs. Like it's being able to create or find something that you're able to do online and well to some extent, you know, and if you can't make it fully online, like if you want to travel and do things like that, like, you know, you can not be tied down to, you know, a physical location. And like that was for me what I wanted. I've always wanted, because I remember like even going back when I was in PT school, like I did a lot of travel abroad when I was in college and even in PT school. And I think my second year, I still remember like I kind of like I didn't really give up, but like I just like was really down. One of our professors, I remember seeing my energy is different. Like I was always the one that like was out smoking and joked around and all that stuff. And he just told me, he just pulled me outside for after class one of, and he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Man, it's like I feel like I'm about to be trapped, you know." And at that point, you weren't in my life yet to teach me a lot of this stuff and change my mindset. But I was like, I just want to travel, and I was like, just seeing other people who didn't go to grad school or PT school and like they had jobs and like they travel for work, and I was like, I want to do that. And I didn't know about travel PT at that point, so he introduced me to that, and that's when I got my spark back at PT school. I was like, okay, I can do travel PT after I graduate, because I just want to do that, because I was like, I'm about to be stuck in Cincinnati my whole life. I grew up here, went to undergrad PT school here, and I thought I was just gonna like find a job and be stuck here, and like just not being able to travel, if so, like, you know, 2 weeks out of the year, and if I was lucky to get a job, it allowed me to do that. And I think that was like, it was coming back for me, like my spark is travel. Some people want like, you know, a house and stability and, you know, family, which is great. Like I don't plan on having kids. Like I don't want kids. Me and my significant other don't want that. So, you know, that's what we want from life. So if people have different goals, like, and if you want to buy a yacht, like, I don't know how much a yacht even costs, but like, you're gonna have to make millions and millions of dollars, and if that's the end goal that you want because you love being on the water and that's your freedom, then it's just different goals. Right. So I think it's being able to figure out what you want and just reverse engineering that, because I think a lot of times we shoot for big numbers, and I'm like, well, you can also just change your location with the money that you're making, which whether it's Asia, you know, it's probably parts of Europe, even whether it's Africa, so like you can find other parts of the world, being able to do that. And I think even sometimes I've seen like, especially it was more so during the pandemic when people in California, in New York and stuff, everyone just came down to Florida because everything was cheaper relative to wherever they were coming from. For everyone else who from the Midwest coming down here or grew up in Florida, like everything got super expensive. But they're like, oh yeah, we get triple the space for the same price, you know, depending where you're at. So for them, even staying in the same country, they were able to do that themselves.
It's just so interesting that you bring this up, because during the pandemic, that's where we had this mass exodus to Florida, right? Okay. People came here for different reasons, but everybody at the end of the day was looking for what you're basically getting right now, going overseas. People were either coming to Florida because there was restriction. That's really the restrictions that they were having in New York, restrictions that they were having in California. And those restrictions weren't allowing people to be able to live freely. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. Whatever your feeling is on it, let's just face it. There was restrictions for people. And so a lot of people are like, hey, I can go here. And if I'm in New York or I'm in California, my money will stretch more in Florida versus there. Yep. Right? Yeah. Okay. Isn't that the same thing that you're doing?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Right? And so it's so interesting that, you know, it takes, in order to do amazing things, and in order to live the life that you want to live, I think there's a couple things. And now I'm just going to talk to AT. Y'all can listen on the podcast. But I think the big thing that you figured out, bro, is that in order to live your life, you have to first know yourself, right? And I think you have been able to do that. You know who you are. Yeah. You know that, hey, you know what? You have no problem. This whole thing of AT can't keep a job. AT can keep whatever job he wants. AT just needs to be AT. Yeah. You just need to have the freedom. You need to have the flexibility. You need to have purpose. You need to have growth. And wherever that is, as long as all those things can happen, you're straight. You're good. Yeah. Like you are good. Yeah. Right?
I get my shit done, right?
You get all your shit done. You get everything that you need to get done. You do what you need to do. You just don't want nobody hawking over you. You need to be able to do what you need to do. You need to be able to have the flexibility, the freedom. And when you feel good, your work is even better. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So that's the first thing. So you had to know yourself. You figured out who you are. Mm-hmm. Number 2, environmental exposure. I want to just show you how this all came. environmental exposure. So you had to know who you are. Okay, this is why I know that when you came to me and said, yo, I want to do this trip, like I know who you are. And I know that this is going to be everything for you. And if I even remotely said no, you wouldn't even be here. Because you're like, yo, I need to do it. It's like life for you, right? It's no different than all the changes I've made. I need to do it. It was killing me if I don't make the changes, right? Okay, so you did it. Now you get environmental exposure. Now you're over there. You're not over there for 6 days. You're not over there for 8 days. You're over there, and I don't know, it probably was somewhere middle to end of the trip where you're like, nah, boo, no. I can see myself living here. No. I want to live here, right? And then you put it into play. But that can't happen unless you're exposed to it.
For sure.
That can't happen. Okay. All right. So let's continue now. So number 3, that happened 1 year ago. Correct?
Yeah, last May.
That happened 1 year ago. You went on the videos that I was watching this morning. The first video was a husband and a wife, and they went over to the Philippines, or this might have been the second one. They went over to the Philippines, and they went over there, and for the last 4 years, they said 4 years ago they're going to do this, and it took them 4 years to get over there. I just want to give you props because you said this a year ago, and you came back and you actually told us very soon after coming back, y'all, peep this, I'm moving over there next year. So it was just like, this is what it is, and that's it. And you did it in 1 year. It didn't take you 4 like them. It took you 1 year to do it. Okay. And then I think the other thing for all of you, and I know I said this to him before, is that, a lot of y'all are trying to find ways to make more money. You have to ask yourself, for what? You want a 7-figure bit for what? You want a 6-figure business for what? You want an 8-figure business for what? And as long as you can do what this man has done to my left, you can be introspective and ask yourself, this is actually what I'm truly looking for. You might find that you might need to build that business, but you might not. Okay? Because let me tell you something. And by the way, now I'm going to pimp out why I'm such a huge believer of online business, and I'm watching you live it. And you're watching me live it too.
Yeah.
Right? We'll talk about him, and then we'll talk about me. So here's the cool thing. You got an online business. He's making American money. He goes over to another country. He's not trying to get a job as a barista in a coffee shop over in Vietnam where he's going to get paid $1 an hour. He ain't trying to do all that.
Nope.
He making his US money. US money, it's going to be directly debited or directly deposited into his account. He's good. He Gucci. He can go over there. He can do what he needs to do. And now, because he's living in a different place of lifestyle, his lifestyle looks like he's making 300% more over there than what he's making here. Okay, that's number 1. The second thing is that he actually, yes, he works for SSHC, but he actually has his business through SSHC. He's an independent contractor. Okay, so here's one of the things I would tell every single one of you. If you're asking yourself, should you have a business? Having a business gives you a 30% raise immediately. Okay, I know that there's fees. You might have LLC fees or S corp fees. These fees are nominal in respect to what the business will actually give you. You basically get a 30% discount. I am not an accountant. I don't play one on TV. But you basically get a 30% discount on every single thing that you buy as regular things. So if he needs something over in the Philippines, if he needs luggage, he can put that on his credit card. And if he puts it on his business credit card, that is considered an expense. And there's a certain amount of it that is a write-off for business. It might not be everything, but a lot of it is. It is an immediate 30% discount. I just went school shopping with my kids. Where the hell did you think I put that? I can put that, I can mirror that as a business expense. So it is a immediate 30% discount on everything that you do by just having a business. And if you have an online business, they got internet over there in Philippines?
Yep.
Okay. They got internet in Vietnam?
Of course.
Okay. So then you can basically do work with anyone in the world. It doesn't matter. Look at what we're doing right now. We're doing a podcast. We happen to be together just because we wanted to see each other before he heads out tomorrow. But this podcast is helping you. And you ain't here. There is no live studio audience. All there is a wall and a TV on the other side and a door. Okay? That is it. But here it is. We're bringing value and you're listening to our personal conversation, right? Like, how cool is that? And that's because you have it's an online business.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm telling you right now, we live in a world today to where if you have certain skill sets and you have a phone and you have a laptop and you can bring value to people and you're not just wanting to limit yourself to bringing value to people in your geographical location, you could bring that value to people anywhere you want to be.
Yeah, there's so much like opportunity,
Yeah.
like, and everyone sees it, and people will say certain things about whether you're influencer or content creator or doing online business, whatever it is, like they're gonna have haters, and people are still making their money regardless.
Right.
And just seeing like, you were watching some YouTube videos of, a family that, moved to the Philippines from the States. Like I've seen a bunch of those from so many different people. Like just that alone, like if they could probably live off views, not even sell anything. Just
Right.
because especially when you're going over there, like
It's
if you make
amazing.
$1,000 a month just from views, it's like it's not a lot for here. You probably can't do just that, unless you're making like, hundreds and hundreds of millions of views, whatever. I don't know how each one exactly pays out, but like for some of those people over there, that's probably all they need to do.
Bro, but here's the thing. Like,
But like there's so much opportunity. There's so many different opportunities to have, and especially most of our audience I know is healthcare. But like at least from my perspective, I feel like you can offer way more value than that, and also sell your expertise of like through your knowledge, being able to help people all over the world. And there's so many different ways and models that you could do that.
You want to know what's so funny? This morning, my brother sent me, how he loves to share all this stuff with me, right? Okay. He sent me a thing that now it is a degree at Arizona State University, content creation.
Really?
Yeah. I'll show it to you after we finish. But it's now they're now having it as a degree.
No way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Totally different world.
It's a totally different world that we live in, you guys. Here's the deal. I want to kind of bring you through this. So I told you I'm watching these videos. Why am I watching these videos? Well, I'll tell you, I saw the video come up. Obviously, they're listening. They hear us. Yeah. Maybe you're on my YouTube. I don't know. But anyways, it was on my algorithm, right? Yeah. Okay, must have heard me talking about AT, and in the house, we're like talking like, all right, what should we do tomorrow? Should we go on a jet ski? By the way, jet ski's fixed. So should we go on a jet ski? Should we go to Guppy? Should we do this or that? And we're talking about the whole thing or whatnot. Yeah. And so must have heard me, and then boom, this morning it's all there. But now, before I went to YouTube to go look at those videos, I went to YouTube TV. I went on my cable. And on my cable, I said, well, what can I watch this morning? I just come back from the gym. So what can I watch this morning? So I went and I just started scrolling through the guide, and there was nothing that interests me. The only thing on there that kind of interests me was Shark Week. I was like, nah, I don't really need to see this. And I said, let me get out of this cable thing and let me go and watch something that interests me. Because one of my best friends is going somewhere and I want to know exactly how other people are. Because maybe I can find something in that video that could be of value to you. Because I knew I was going to see you today. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I can find something that's going to be of value. Maybe they know something. Maybe they... That's it. So guys, are you guys seeing this? What I'm trying to say is that we live in a world where people are just interested in what they're interested in. And I don't want to watch a bunch of sitcoms. I don't want to watch all the other stuff. Maybe sometimes if I want to feel dumb, I'll watch Jeopardy to see how stupid I am. Sometimes I might want to guess with them on Wheel of Fortune. And sometimes I might want to laugh and I might want to watch Family Feud. But besides that, I'm not watching anything. Yeah. I am on my phone and I am looking at what am I currently interested in, and I'm finding stuff on that.
Yeah, and everyone's making content just about everything that you can think about in life too.
Everything. And sometimes I need to be educated. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I need to be entertained. Sometimes I need to be informed. But I'm looking to my phone for that. Yeah. And I'm not looking to any TV for that. So I say all of that to you all because there are so many ways to be able to make, I call it flexible income, flexible money, okay? It's flexible money making. And if you can do flexible money making, your life will forever change. Forever change. You could make half of what you're making right now, make flexible income, and you can go to another country and live 3 times better than what you're living right now at half of what you're making. That's called flexible income. Yeah. Okay, and that only happens, at least as far as I know, through online. Yeah. You have to be able to do that. So, with that said, is there any other thoughts you have? Because I have some thoughts I want to say about you and just everything you
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I think, kind of sums up one thing that I've thought about as well. I'm just going to call this Entrepreneur A and Entrepreneur B. These entrepreneurs that I've known. I won't drop any names, but Entrepreneur A, and I think I don't know if this is a lot of people, maybe it was just me, or where this person wants to make as much money as possible, right? And there's no rhyme or reason why they just want to make as much money as possible. And I kind of said that towards the beginning. And, sometimes that may be a little bit different now, but like with AI and there's so many different ways where you don't need to have so much staff, right? But it's like if you want to make like $1 billion, like you're going to need probably like a good amount of staff, right? And there's so much more to manage, and you're going to have way more expenses and all that stuff, because people are like, oh, these billionaires, yeah, the company makes $1 billion, but it's like there's a lot of expenses that goes along with it. Like it's not like everything's free. And then I heard Entrepreneur B talking to Entrepreneur A, and it was like, how are you scared of doing this? And he's like, well, you have to do this, and you have to like triple your staff, or then do this and spend this money and all that. It's like, well, no, it's like I want to be able to, like, let's say 2 or 3x or 5x or whatever it is, but like I don't really want to do that with my staff. Like I don't want to manage more people.
Right.
Like I just don't want the headaches of that. So he's like, okay, well, if that's not possible for, at least from who he's learning from, Entrepreneur B learning from Entrepreneur A, he's like, well, I don't want all that. I was like, I want a small staff. I want to make super high profit, and just have less stress and be able to do what I want, right. And I think first time hearing that, and it's like, well, I'd rather make, let's say, $10 million a year versus $100 million a year and just be way less stress free. So, right. And I think when I first heard that, and it's just like two different pathways, like, well, yeah, this is what the lifestyle that person wanted. And I think it was the first time when I was like, okay, like we're just chasing stuff because other people are chasing it, but they don't even know why they're chasing it.
Right.
So I think it's like figuring that out for yourself, and whatever that is from a lifestyle standpoint, right, from your business. I think what is it that you want from life, and being able to build from entrepreneurship or whatever you want to create around that. And I think that just, I talked about this before, and I think about it a lot, and it's just like being in alignment. So when everything is in alignment, things just flow a lot easier. And I think a lot of times we try to make things so much harder than it is, but it's like, well, you're trying to get to here, and it's like, all right, well, all you really need to do is like steps 1, 2, 3, versus like we're trying to make 30 steps to get to the same point. Right.
I truly think that I'll answer it for most people, and I know I'm not supposed to generalize, but it's my podcast, and I'll do whatever the hell I want and do it. I think most people, we just do it so that people will accept them. That's it. That's really it. A buddy of mine who we went to the concert with said that he's making half of what he used to make, but his profit's no different. So which one's better? Absolutely. Is it better to make $1 million a year and have $150,000 in profit, or would you rather make $300,000 a year and have $150,000 profit?
For me, option
B. Okay, so at the end of the day, we just have to know ourselves.
Yeah.
For some of us, we have joy from creating opportunities for others, because that's what gives us joy. For some of us, so for that person, that creating opportunities for other, maybe for you, you're gonna find a lot of joy in having 350. Okay. For some of us, we find joy in having flexibility to be able to explore whatnot. Like, there's no shame behind that. It's like, if that's what gives you joy, then do that. Yeah. Right. For some, I know for me, I was asking myself, I had a run of a certain amount of years of hitting over $1 million in a business. And it was last year, I didn't do it, like in one business. And I was like panicking at the end of the year, like, oh my God, what am I trying to hit this for? And as I started, I can't believe I'm saying this on a podcast, but it's truth. It's like, who cares? Right. But who am I doing this for? It's so I can say it.
Yeah.
It's so I could say 16 years in a row or whatever. To who?
Yeah.
To what?
Yeah. Because,
like, what are we doing?
Because most people, I don't think y'all care.
I don't think you care.
I don't. Yeah.
And even if you do, I don't care. I don't care that you care. Like what is it? Yeah. What does me hitting $1 million 16 years in a row have to do with you putting more money in your pocket?
Yeah.
Is that going to help you more? Is that going to like? So we have to really. I'm telling you, it's really difficult to ask ourselves why is this stuff so important to us. Yeah. And I think when you get deep with yourself, you realize that it's really just to please other people that really aren't concerned about your life.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I say that because I wish you well. I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope you enjoy yourself. It's not a good, it's just, It's just, I'm not going to be able to say, come through on Thursday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He usually will come over here like once every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we do 2 days. It just depends on what we're doing. But
Right.
it's just going to be virtual, which is pretty much what it is now anyways. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit, different. But I'm just so happy because I'm like, wow, how cool is that? To be able to do it and to try it.
Yeah.
And just like you said, okay, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Take you ass right back to here.
I'll come right back here.
Right.
So yeah.
So I don't think that's gonna happen though.
Yeah. I appreciate it, and I think just this part of life, I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. And I think just with life, there's always
right.
So yeah.
So I don't think that's gonna happen though.
I appreciate it, and I think just this part of life, I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. And I think just with life, there's always roller coasters but it's also just being able to ride it out and just seeing what happens with it. Mm-hmm. And I think with embracing everything that happens, and I think one thing maybe because I'm been a little bit busier the last couple of months, just trying to get everything situated, and probably haven't sat with myself as much as I probably should. But my significant other was like, why aren't you as emotional, right? And I'm just trying to stay as much in life as to be as grounded as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think part of it maybe just been so busy where I haven't been able to. I felt it a little bit last week when I was like, oh shit, like a lot of anxiety and stuff and stress and all that. But then now I feel good. And I'm like, whatever happens, it happens. And I think it's, for me, when you experience enough in life, and I think sometimes with traveling, I think it speeds up a lot of parts of learning of life. Yeah. And you sort of learn to roll with the punches more, learn to embrace ups and downs. And I think it's a lot of the meanings we assign to it. And we're going to have ups and downs regardless, but I think the meaning that we assign to it helps us, affects us how, our mood and everything. And if we look if we're having all these highs and, you're not appreciating it, and it's may not feel like anything, but you're having all these great things happening to you. Right. Then you have all these lows, and it's okay, learning to let go of certain things, how to learn how to let go of a lot of stuff, physically, over the last couple of weeks, just moving and just not needing stuff. And I think just being able to ride that if there are lows, and just knowing that at the end of the day, we always get through it. So whatever that is, I just try to embrace as much as possible and try to stay level-headed. Easier said than done, but that's how I try to live life and things.
That's awesome. Well, cheers to the new adventure.
I appreciate everything that you've done, and it'll fly by, and I'll be back here soon.
Yep. All right. Maybe we'll do a podcast episode maybe